Hi everyone. So this is Gaëlle. I'm so happy that you're here. So I am with my friend Sagan Moro. I'm really happy to present her to you. She's the queen of the productivity. She's a productivity strategist, but also a podcaster, a novelist, and a burlesque dancer. And tell me, Sagan, if I did forget something, just let me know.
That pretty much encompasses the main things that I do, yes.
So yeah, you are a multi-passionate entrepreneur and I love everything that you do. And I find it quite fantastic that at this time, you can have the time to do everything you love, okay? Without making excuses or drama and really to give your focus to what you do.
Mhm.
And I wanted for people watching us and for my audience to know more about what you do, but how you do it. Because I know you are the queen of productivity, but sometimes you think about it, how can I combine self-care and productivity? Because some people, they think that being productive doesn't mean necessarily to have the time to look after yourself. And I would love to get your opinion about it in order to know, for my audience, even for me, for everyone, to know how can we do both together.
Yeah, and I think like this is such an important topic. And for me, I really view productivity as self-care. Productivity is self-care. And whenever we talk about toxic productivity, that's not real productivity, right? So
Mm.
productivity, the whole concept of it is really getting is having the capacity and the bandwidth to get more done and to work really efficiently. So if we aren't in a good place mentally, and if we aren't feeling happy and healthy and energetic and creative and all of these things, then we aren't going to be productive. So self-care is really the foundation of productivity. It is how we become productive, is by taking care of ourselves.
Okay, so yes, so from your point of view, everything starts by our self-care. So even before to think being productive or anything like this, the key from a well-being perspective is to make yourself a priority first. It's like you cannot pour from an empty cup. So
Yes.
you have to make sure that you fuel your body, your mind, your spirit the way you want to before to even think about being productive.
Exactly. And I mean, one of the really great ways to think about this, because I know that this can be really difficult, this can be something that's tricky for us to wrap our minds around when we first start thinking of productivity in
Yeah.
this way. But a really good way to think about it is when you have a great night's sleep, when you feel well rested, how much more do you end up accomplishing that day? Or when you really love your work, how much faster are you able to
Okay.
produce high quality work? When you take the time to go out for a walk in the middle of the day on a really beautiful day, how much more energized do you feel from doing that kind of thing? So when we do that, when we really prioritize self-care, it gives us this wonderful space and opportunity to produce much higher quality work much faster, to enjoy ourselves that much more while we're at it. So that's really where this sort of self-care piece comes into play.
I love that. I love the idea really to bring to a state of mind which is really quiet, which is really peaceful, in order to get all this harmony inside of you. And when you're ready to go outside or to show up online, you have this energy. But coming from a place of abundance, coming from a place of rest. And I think deep down for me is really linked to what is well-being, is really takes the time to feel good, and make this really not another tick on your to-do list, but really the foundation of your business.
Yes, and it means something different for everyone, right? So really looking at it from that sort of standpoint too, that whatever self-care happens to be, like you're absolutely right to not make it just something we need to check off our list. It's just something that we incorporate as a priority in our lives, and also looking at what is self-care to me? What do I love doing? What does energize me? What does bring me happiness? What makes my heart happy? And how can I
Mhm.
do more of that, right? And then have that, again, that space for being able to work from there.
So it's really, if I think about my audience in terms of practical tools, for example, it would be more to think, what makes you feel good, what lights you up, what do
Mm.
you love to do?
Yes.
Because we know most of the time this, but we don't take the time really to put this in our schedule to feel better about ourselves.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, for you watching us, think about what you love to do, like maybe have a walk or take a bath or have a nice cuppa or spend some quality time with your children, whatever is really tailored to what you love. And I think is coming to the next subject, which is really to create an intentional routine around productivity and self-care. From your experience again, what about how did you set up a kind of intentional routine?
A lot of it is really around that, like, again, this whole concept around what do you really want to
Mm.
do and how can you fit it into your schedule, right? So, if you find that you do want to get outside and like incorporate that as just like something that you are doing, really looking at, okay, where does the natural sort of break end up being for me in my day? And, for me, and probably for many people, it tends to be like around the middle of the day, right? You've already been working on some things and that kind of thing. When you need that sort of break, then you already know, okay, during this break, when I need to step away from the computer, I can feel myself not being as productive, right? My energy isn't quite there. It's taking me a little bit longer to do work. That is a sign that I need to take
Mm.
that step back. So it's really about listening to your body and what your brain is telling you, what your mind is telling you. When you see your energy levels fluctuating,
Yes.
going with that. And also keeping in mind that we need to have a few different kinds of self-care routines available to us. So sometimes when we find that our energy is lower and we want to replenish our energy, sometimes that means that we need to be more physical, right? Which could be going out for a
Yep.
walk, going dancing, whatever it happens to be,
Mhm.
doing yoga. Other times, though, we might need our brain to refocus on something else, in which case maybe you want to read a novel, right? Or maybe you want to um, like for me, a funny kind of form of self-care is washing the dishes. I really
Yeah,
enjoy
why not?
washing dishes by hand. For some reason, it makes me feel really good.
Yeah, I do agree that when I'm washing the dishes, I find it very therapeutic in a way. It's very,
It,
yeah. No,
right?
it's true. It's
Yeah.
true. I like to put my hands in really warm water and take my time to do it. And
Yes.
yes,
And
I
it's
do
it's
see your point.
yeah, and it's a neat sort of way to get like immediate results. You get to see the immediate result of your like work, right? Which makes you feel
Mhm.
good, and then it gives you that um, energy again to work on something else. But the real key here is that, yeah, with self care, we are looking at there are different ways to incorporate it. And sometimes our energy needs to be replenished in a more physical way versus a more
Yeah.
mental way. So being able to have a variety of different forms of activities that you can theoretically do so that it's not always go out for a walk, right? That's not always your form of self
No.
care because sometimes you just need to sit down and read a novel. So paying attention to that kind of thing as to what you actually need in the moment is really
Mm.
important.
Okay, so one, really to look at your energy levels in regards
Mhm.
to the day, but also listen to your intuition, listen to your guts in terms of what you really need to replenish your energy. Because it's true, sometimes me, I'm a bit tired and everything. I know I just need to have to dance with my daughter in the kitchen, to have some fun, to have some rock star party, and I feel really good about it. When sometimes, because I feel more down, I feel more low, I will be more inclined to just lie down on my sofa with my blanket to be cozy and just to relax.
Yeah.
So I see your point, to be
Yeah.
receptive to what your body is telling you in terms of what it needs.
Yes.
Um, and I love that because it's really a question to be more mindful about your body, about your mind, what they need in order for you really to feel good about yourself and yeah, to feel in peace. So it's really interesting because sometimes it's really contrary to what is the definition of productivity right now. It's true. Is a question of really listening to yourself. Take the time to do it as well, and be intentional about what you really want to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And is more quality than quantity. That's why I love this. I love this mindset shift about productivity because
Yes.
it's really bringing this well-being perspective that we need to add more into our day-to-day lives.
Yes, and the really cool part too is that when we focus on the quality over the quantity happens as a
Yeah.
result, right? Because we are able to work so much more efficiently and we're able
Mm.
to produce this very high quality work so much faster than
It's
if we
true.
were forcing ourselves to do work, right? Which is
Mm.
again like that's more like the glorification of busy, the culture of busy,
Yes.
and that is
Yeah.
not what productivity is about, or at least the type of productivity that I teach. It's really all about reframing things. It's about ensuring that you are prioritizing your well-being and your self-care and managing your energy really well. Because if you are burned out or overwhelmed, if you
Yeah.
feel tired every day, then you are not being productive.
No,
So
it's true. Totally.
that needs to be handled. Yeah.
Yeah, no. But that's why I think so many people, I think they try to manage their time when they should try to manage their energy.
Yes.
Because time is such a concept now that you have to have a different mindset perspective about what is really time. It's different as well.
Yeah.
But really, it's your energy. Your energy is going to give you this time that you need.
Yeah.
It's just a little twist, but the result is phenomenal.
Yes.
Me, when I started to think this way, and not in terms of, and I think also when you think about it, it's your perception about time. If
Yeah.
you think that you have plenty of time, whatever is happening, you're going to have plenty of time.
It's true. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the more that we do this kind of thing, the more that we pay attention to it, the better that we get at it. And so the more efficient that we become at managing our energy, which is really
Yeah.
cool. And what you're saying here is also interesting because I found that when I started writing and publishing my romance novels, people kept on coming to me and saying, "Oh, I've always wanted to write a novel, but I don't have the time for it."
Ah,
And it was really funny because I was saying to people, well, actually, you do have the time. It's just not a priority, which had been my case for years, right? I knew everyone has the time, but it's all about being intentional with that time. And if you really want something, you need to prioritize it.
yeah.
And then if you want to do something like write a novel, yes, that does require a higher amount of creativity and energy. But then it's a matter of looking at how can I boost my energy and my creativity to make the space for that if this is a priority for me. And so then it can be a matter of, juggling your schedule, maybe taking some things off your plate, figuring out ways to improve your self-care so that you have that higher amount of energy so that you aren't feeling exhausted at the end of the day. All of those pieces are really important to come into play. And I mean, I wrote and published 6 romance novels in a year and a half while I was dealing with mental health issues, while I was rebranding a business partnership rebranding back into my solopreneur business, while I was launching courses, while I was launching a podcast, all of those different pieces. So anyone can really do this, right? Like the time is there. It's just a matter of, do we have the energy for it, and how can we improve our capacity and our bandwidth so that we do create the energy for it if that's so important to us.
Yeah, it's really the question if it's matter to you or not, you're going to have the time for it. I did notice it. It's depending really of your commitment to it.
Yeah.
But it's of your importance. If it's matter to you really to do this stuff, to get to the results, you will find the time for it.
Yeah.
And from this moment, you're going to make sure to put boundaries that is non-negotiable for you to do it no matter what. Okay? And if something is happening and you cannot do it this day, what is going to happen? Just create a kind of flexible option that maybe you're not going to do it like you want to, I don't know, 2 hours to work on your book. Maybe you're going to work on half an hour. But at least, still in your day, you work on your book.
Yeah. And I mean, if you find yourself, if you're watching this video and you find yourself that you often procrastinate on certain things, for example, with saying that you want to write a book and you haven't gotten around to it yet, go down that rabbit hole, to figure out, okay, why do I keep saying I want to do something and I'm not doing it? What is the real issue here? Is it, a fear around it? Is it something that you like the idea of writing a book, but you actually aren't interested in doing the work, right? So in which case that isn't the right project for you, is it that you haven't communicated effectively with the people in your life so that they don't understand that this is a really important thing for you? So then they're figuring out ways to support you in this big project that you're taking on. Going down that rabbit hole and really understanding the real issue at hand for why you are procrastinating on something, that can be such a game changer.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, because most of the time when we got these stories in the background that we want to do something, but we don't have the time or something come up, there is definitely more. Most of the time is a fear lurking in the background, and using this kind of behavior pattern stories that we have to justify.
Yes.
To justify to stay in this position. And it's true, again, what she's saying. When you start to dig a little bit more and more, and this is a question of self-care as well.
Yes.
It's a question of self-respect, and we spoke about it last week on Instagram. But it's a question of self-respect. If you have a minimum of respect for yourself, you're going to dig. You're going to say, what's going on? Why there is so much a gap between my goal and where I am right now?
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? So either you can look for a coach or for someone to guide you, or by yourself. You can start to dig around, look at the patterns. This is really good when you want to do anything new. What is going on? And is helping you to really build your relationship with your ego as well. Just to see the way he behaves, just to see the way he's using your fear, any ammunition, because this is the job of your ego, is to protect you.
Yeah.
So what Sagan is saying is true. When you start to dig into it, your ego is going to say, ooh, 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 what's going on? But this is a sign for you to dig even more. So this is another side aspect of what is self-care as well, is to have the courage to see why you're not where you want to be.
Absolutely. And yeah, you're totally right. When you experience resistance, when you start going down that rabbit hole and you experience resistance, that is a sign that you were on the right track, right?
Yeah.
That is you need to go down there a little bit further. And so much, when you're talking about self-respect and that kind of thing, it's really also about trusting yourself, like trusting that whatever it is that you want to do in your life, you actually do have the capacity to do, right?
Yeah.
And you have the capacity to figure out why you haven't gone down that particular path yet and how to figure it out. It's trusting yourself is so, so important.
Yes, I would say you have to remember that you are a work in progress to the end of the day.
Yeah.
You are not perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing is perfect. Okay. And from this, I think from this state of mind, you can accept to make just one single step ahead of the time, or one step at a time, to move forward to your goal. Yeah. Because if you're here right now listening to us, you are in a position in your life where you overcome a lot of barriers. No matter what, maybe you don't see it, but trust me, you did it. So when you feel yourself maybe to beat yourself up that you're not where you wanted to be, think about everything you've done before.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a testament of your resilience, of your strength, and that you can do it for the future.
Yes.
Don't forget about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yes, so this is what I wanted to share with you, with Sagan today. The way to see differently what is self-care, but also productivity, and how to feel good, productive, and pampered. And Sagan, I think you have something for us to feel good and pampered. And you know, I love everything about pampering.
It's very important to pamper yourself. Yes. I actually have two things to pamper yourself.
Okay.
Yes. So the first to really help you feel so productive and to really pamper yourself is Productivity Powerhouse, which is my signature program that teaches you all about how to identify your unique productivity style and also how to figure out, if you are going day to day and you're starting to feel some burnout and you're not really sure how to manage it. I have a whole series of guided questions that will help you get to that point and really understand yourself a lot better. That program, Productivity Powerhouse, also teaches you how to save upwards of 10 hours every single week and how do you have the energy so that you can use that extra time in whatever way you want. So it's a very powerful course. So you can check that out at saganmorrow.com/powerhouse. The other thing that I wanted to mention is my free business planning retreat workshop, because that workshop really teaches you all about how to check in with yourself on a regular basis, how to figure out what you want most from your personal life, from your professional life. So that's really what the power is in that program. So you can check that one out at saganmorrow.com/retreat.
And just for you, I will put all the details of these two gift or present that you can take for yourself in the comments below. Just for you. But I find it really interesting. 10 hours. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I love that.
And right away, it's been incredible. Some of my clients who've gone in, they within a couple of weeks, they're like, oh, I just made I made a few small changes, barely scratched the surface of Productivity Powerhouse, and I'm already saving 10 hours a week.
Wow.
It happens right away. And it's really, I really feel like so much in our personal life and our professional life, we unnecessarily overcomplicate things.
Yes.
So my programs are always based around how can we simplify things, make things easier, more accessible, more enjoyable for us, right?
Yeah.
So that's really what it's all about. And it's quite lovely to see just how powerful really small, simple changes can be.
No, I love that because simplicity is transformation for me. Once you get to this idea that you just need to simplify each task to get massive results, you have a kind of domino effect in your business and in your life. And you feel good about yourself. So you're boosting your self-confidence. You're boosting everything that you want to. And 10 hours plus checking about your energy, I find it quite pretty awesome. And I can see you are the example of it. Look at yourself. You're a burlesque dancer, you're a productivity strategist, a podcaster, a novelist. So I would say definitely, I put all the details in the comments below. And yes, if you really want to feel pampered and productive, yes, take a look because you have a lot of testimony, a lot of clients really happy. And I can see on your face the way you are, you're radiating and everything. So I think this is all what we want. So on this, I just wanted to say big thank you to have come out for the first episode of the Rockstar Wellness series. More and more are coming. You're going to see Sagan soon on my podcast as well. And yes, if you want to feel productive, pampered, and really feel good, yes, Sagan is the queen for that. So thank you very much, Sagan. And I would say to you guys, stay healthy, stay positive, look after yourself. Do you want to say something else, Sagan?
Oh, thanks. Thank you so much for having me. And really productivity is just all about self-care. So that's just an important thing to always keep in mind. But yes, thank you for having me. This has been so lovely. I always adore chatting with you.
Me too. She will come back, by the way. Don't worry, she will come back. Yes, I send you so much love, all of you, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time for another episode on the Rockstar Wellness Days. Thank you so much. Bye.